Okay, Willow, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so excited for you and for what's happening in Rio Rancho.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm very excited as well.
So how do you prepare for wrestling? Like, how do you prepare? What do I call it, a match?
Yeah, so a match would be like the individual fights that you see. The show is just like the whole thing. For All Elite Wrestling, we're really traveling every week, state to state, sometimes country to country. So how do we prepare? We train, go to the gym regularly, get into rings, so we don't get rusty. And then aside from that, personally, I like to rest because we're putting our bodies through a lot, obviously in the ring, but the travel as well. So that is what we're doing from our end to try and put on the best show as possible, but also be victorious and successful and have long, beautiful careers.
I just watched Summer House from the beginning. I decided to start over. And I don't know if you watch Summer House on Bravo, but Paige and Sierra, they're very big on staying as much time in their bed as they possibly can. And I'm starting to think that's not the worst thing in the world.
No. I mean, hey, people always say life is short, but now I'm in my 30s and I'm realizing life is also very long. And we need to be able to just get through it as functional as possible. And rest isn't something that we should necessarily shame ourselves for.
Yes, and we do.
If you have the time to have a little extra rest, it'll help you when you are awake. You'll be a little bit more extra peppy. So, I mean, not everyone can be afforded the time to stay in bed. But when you have it, take advantage of it. Don't shame yourself.
For sure. So where did this passion for wrestling come from?
So for me, I've been a fan since I was a kid. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh, this is so cool. And when I was a kid, I was a tomboy. So it felt like a very natural fit. As I got older, I became very feminine, very girly. I love glitter. You see me now, I'm wearing a skirt anytime I'm not in my wrestling gear or in my leggings. I love wearing a skirt or dress. But I think that wrestling is everything. You get the theatricality, you get the glitter, the sequins in our wrestling gear, but you also get this level of aggression, and I think that's at the core of human nature, is kind of just the physicality of just really what it boils down to is duking it out with another person. And so to be able to have this glam aesthetic, but also really aggressive, edgy presence, and you can be whatever person you want to be, is really, I think, what drew me to it. I may not at first glance seem like a tough, aggressive wrestler who's going to get in your face and beat you up. Because, if I met you on the street, we hugged and embraced before. I wouldn't do that.
Don't hurt me.
But I can. So I think wrestling is really just all of that tied up with a beautiful bow. And anyone coming to sit and watch a show gets to see it. And it's a spectacle, and it's wonderful and theatrical and athletic, and love it.
So what's your mindset before you jump into that ring?
Usually I'm thinking to myself, how to get everything that I have inside of me as one person, right? There are so many people on this earth, but I'm one person. I'm about to walk into this venue. There's going to be so many people with their eyes on me. And of course, they're expecting a show. So I want to get all of my energy. And my character is very happy-go-lucky, very bubbly. I love professional wrestling, as you mentioned. It's a passion of mine. I want to spread that to everyone in the ring. So for me, before I go out, I actually do this thing where I put my finger on the tip of my nose and I'm like, this is one little atom that's a part of you, but there's so many atoms within your body that make you who you are, and it's all about doing it together. So when you go out there, there's going to be a crowd looking at you. We're all doing this together. It's all an experience for all of us. Let every single bit of you, even the tiny atom in your nose, reach out to fill the whole stadium, which maybe is a weird way to think about it.
I
But
love
that's
it.
what's going
I
on in my
love
head
it.
before I go out.
Oh my God, the next time I host something, that's what I'm going to do. You are making me want to kick some ass right now.
Oh, hell yeah!
Let's do this. Okay, so what is like your proudest moment from all your achievements? And I know you have quite a few. What's your proudest?
I am a big family person. So for me, my biggest accomplishment was last year I was able to win the TBS title. And my parents and my younger sister were front row, so they got to see it and be there for a very special moment for me. You know, championships are so important to what we do. They help us keep track of like our growth, where we're at that moment in time. And, you know, champs get the bigger payday. So you want to be the champ, but to have my family there just to spend it with me makes it even better. Yeah, I think that's probably the most special in my heart.
I love that. So your match with Mercedes at Double or Nothing, that was definitely a defining moment. What was going through your head during that showdown?
I think what was really fascinating is I was the champion, but I went into the match as an underdog. So a lot of it was a bit of a mental battle of being like, you are champ right now, and that is for a reason. You didn't get here accidentally. She may have the bigger name, have more experience in like the mainstream with the eyes and more fans, but you're not here accidentally. You're here because of all your hard work and everything that you've done. And you've carried this championship and yourself well. And even though it might be the most pressure I've ever been under in the ring, or the most people tuning in, and while some are going to give me praise, and I appreciate that, there are also going to be people who are going to scrutinize me. And you just have to be prepared to know that, like, you are authentically yourself. No matter what, you're going to go out there and do your best. And that is so much more than so many people can say. And that is what charges me up, and that's what gets me going. And yeah, that is how I look back at that and feel pride in that. Even if it was like a match that I lost, I still went out there and gave it my all.
I love it. So I feel like as women, we have a lot of voices in our head, self-doubt,
Imposter syndrome.
Yes. It's so true. What advice do you give to someone who's listening, who's suffering from that? What advice would you give them to say, you know what, shut those voices down and you do you?
I would say exactly what I just did, which is a motto that I have to remind myself over and over. You did not get here accidentally. When I first started wrestling, I was wrestling in these tiny little warehouses or like, you know, veteran halls. And sometimes there would be 50, 100 people. And I thought maybe this could be all that I will ever do in wrestling. And every time I advanced my career and what I was doing, the pressure got more, the attention was more. But at the end of the day, all of my experiences prior to that led me to where I am. So if I didn't feel like I was good enough or important enough, there's no reason I would be put in that position to begin with if I wasn't ready. And that goes to anyone listening. Whatever challenges you're facing, whatever accomplishments are ahead of you, they're not being given to you, because nothing is really handed out in this world. People say that, but like everyone is scratched and clawed and worked hard to get where they are. And if you don't feel deserving, like, listen, you made that happen. Even if somebody did help you and it takes a village and we're all in this together, yes, that's all lovely. But like, you still did your work to get where you have to be. Do not forget it. It's not an accident. You belong where you belong.
I love this. I love you. I want you on the show more. So tell us, it's all happening at the Rio Rancho Event Center tomorrow night, right? AEW?
Yep. We're actually going to have a double taping. So we have Dynamite, which is on TBS on Wednesday nights. And so you will all be able to see that live if you're there at the Rio Rancho Event Center. But you can also get a sneak peek of our Saturday show, Collision, which airs on TNT. But we're going to be filming that right after. So you can, you know, see the action before it even gets on TV. You can be ahead of everyone else and be like a cool trendsetter. So be there.
I love it. And tickets are still available. Willow, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.